Bear with me. This is all experimental at the moment. Can anyone who's watching... Oh, hang on. I've got a message. Right, so I've invited Indecisive Autos, and it says it's taken him to a help page. So this is a great start. Help is definitely something we need, isn't it? Let me try... hang on. I'm messaging and streaming at the same time. What could possibly go wrong? Just trying to see if Dave can see the stream at the moment. Because on my screen here, I've got me at the top, and then the bottom half of it is I've got a chat going. Hello, David and Mark. So I've got a half and half screen at the moment. The top of it is just the normal stream. Phone stood up, portrait mode. The bottom half of it is black, and it's waiting for the first guest that I've sent a message to, sent a link to rather, to invite him, and it's not worked straight away. Hello, guys. More than one person. You can see the chat to the right. See, I have to have the phone on portrait. I don't think it'll Can anyone hear music? Because that's one of the things I'm testing. Hey!
Used my phone. For some reason, it didn't work using the laptop. So there we go.
Not
quite gone to plan. So I'm not even technically, I think, signed in on the right YouTube account either. So the name might pop up slightly differently, but never mind.
It hasn't even come up with a name, I don't think. But
no, I've got like my old. I need to sort it out. All my old Google stuff is still pointing to an old account, and then I obviously set up Indecisive Auto when I set the channel up, and I'm still not subscribed to most people on the actual channel. I'm using the old account for everything else, so I need to get it all sorted. But how are you doing anyway?
So what you're saying is it could be your fault.
It probably is my fault. and I work in IT, so it's even worse. You know what I mean?
That's quite embarrassing.
The guy that works in IT can't get things working properly. So which is it's the story of my life, really. They do say that mechanics don't look. I shouldn't say this, should I? Mechanics don't tend to look after their own cars because they spend their entire life fixing other people's.
No. Have you seen the state of my DS?
Yeah. I'm not saying disparaging.
So you're on a laptop.
Yeah, so I was on a laptop. When I received your link, as soon as I clicked on the link within the laptop, it sent me to a help page. I'll send you a screenshot later of what it was doing. I'll do a bit of Googling and see if I can figure out why it was doing it. It was a bit odd.
Was it Windows 10 on the laptop?
Yeah, it's Windows 10, and I tried it both from Edge and from Chrome as well. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. But
and then you do it from your phone. It worked first time.
Yeah, as soon as I clicked on the link, straight up and through. So that might be the other thing to say to folk. When it comes to your main live one, is stick with your phone if you want it to be 100% reliable.
Because everyone who I've messaged so far, I've told them they should be able to use any device.
Yeah.
So I might have to send another message out saying don't do that.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what happened or what went on there. So it is a bit strange, but
it's working now. So
yeah, it seems to be coming through okay now. So
How's Tricks?
Oh, not too bad. You'll get to see something soon that suggests evidence that I have absolutely no business doing any servicing work on a car. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you've seen that 500 quid Corsa I've bought for my sister.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm behind on everything at the moment.
Yeah.
But I've seen you've got a Corsa.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
I've got a
because
Corsa.
is that because like the world has got really expensive and you thought I can't keep driving a big expensive car anymore?
No, I bought it for my sister because basically she needs a cheap car in an emergency, and
Okay.
work colleague was getting rid of it, and I thought, oh, well, they'll be all right, Corsas, it should be straightforward enough to work on, Vauxhalls, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to sort it out and get it ready for her, but I found out whilst I was crawling around underneath it doing a service on it that the last person that had done a service on it had over tightened the sump plug quite substantially and stripped the last part of the thread out in the bottom of the sump.
What could go
So
wrong?
yeah, so you screw it up so far and then it was rattling around everywhere, and it's great because as I tried to do it back up after draining all the oil out, you can actually see the moment on video where it breaks me because I'm lying there on the floor going, I'm going to have to put a new sump in this car, and I need to get it to her on Saturday. What am I going to do?
Is it a tin sump or an alloy one?
Alloy. Yeah, alloy. I managed to get round it. I dug into my Volvo parts stash because obviously you put crush washers on Volvo sump plugs, and luckily there's enough of the thread ahead of the sump there's just enough thread left for it to grab on there because the thread doesn't run all the way down the plug.
Right.
So I was kind of lucky. There's just enough. So it's still a bit dubious, but I've done 100 miles in it and it's not leaked. So
What's the worst that could happen? I mean, the oil could fall out, I suppose.
yeah, worst case scenario. But there's I tell you, there's far more oil coming out the rocker cover and the oil pressure switch and just about every other seal on that engine than is coming out the sump at the moment. So I think
Is that the is it the 1.2?
1.4.
Oh,
It's 1.4 with a nice. It sounds lovely and quiet when you first start it, and then it sounds like a diesel once you get it up to temperature. So it is ready for a chain, and I'd planned to do a chain, and then she said no, and I really need it for Saturday, and I'm like, great. So it might get a chain at some point, or it might not, and I might get a message to say it's exploded. But yeah.
are you within a 10-mile radius of my house?
No.
Oh, that sounds like a you problem then, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a case. It's going to be a case of I'm just going to tell her how it is and then let her roll with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So can you see the chat on the screen?
Yes, it keeps popping up intermittently. I think here you go. If I click on that little live chat, all messages are visible. There we go. Yeah, so I can click on something and now I can see various messages. So I can see, I can see Miss Hubnuts there.
Oh, well, oh yeah, right. So I didn't have the chat on properly. Sorry, everybody. Right, hang on. So someone's just said my microphone is a bit weedy. That will be because the phone is stood up on a Hillman brake drum. So I'm going to try. Oh no, hang on.
Oh, there we go.
Is the sound any better there?
So you're coming through loud and clear to me. I can hear you all right.
Okay. I didn't realise there was so many. I didn't realise there was so many people in the chat talking. I've seen the state of your SM. How rude.
I didn't know you had an SM. Have you got an SM?
No, I've not mentioned it to many people. I've
No.
only if someone asks, so I don't make a big deal of it.
Oh, by the way, I'm wearing an appropriate T-shirt for this stream as well.
I can't see it because
BX T-shirt. BX T-shirt on.
Hey.
So. I still don't own a BX.
Well, you should rectify that. They're not expensive.
Well, yeah. I'm. You know something? I should have bought that black one that you had for sale at the beginning of the year.
What,
yeah, I was in a bit of a pickle myself, sort of mentally, at the time, and I just wished I'd had it now because I've seen how because it keeps changing hands, doesn't it?
So I haven't mentioned this, and it's nothing to do with an SM. So the other day I had a phone call here, which annoys me, as you know, but It was a guy who he now owns Meg.
Mm.
He's the one selling it on eBay, and he lives about 3 miles that way. And Meg is about 10 miles that way in a garage in a lockup. So she's gone all the way up Bristol and then wherever else, all around the country, and it's come back down here again. And he's selling it.
Mm.
So, and I said to him on the phone, well, you know, I wouldn't. I'd do it up if I were you, but
Yeah.
So it survives, but I just hope it doesn't fall into the wrong hands, you know.
Yeah, so the 205 engine robber brigade,
Yeah.
as I would refer to it. I mean, that was a thing that when my dad was, because we've had a couple of BXs. His last BX was a phase 2 16 valve,
The winners.
and it was rife then.
Mm.
For that's what folk were doing to them. But he
No,
misses that car.
they're not too bad for it now because the 205 guys, on one hand, 205 GTIs are worth a lot more standard than they were then, and on the other hand, the engines that they put in them, there's other options now. They use the engine out of the 206 GTI 180.
Yeah.
They use obviously this GTI 6 engines and things. People are putting the turbo engines in them out of the like 406s and the Xantias. And some people are putting like Volkswagen 20 valve turbos in 20 valve turbo engines now because they all want to get like high power figures. And
I'm sure I saw a 205 with a VTEC Honda engine in.
Oh yeah, more than likely.
Gathering.
Yeah, no, quite possibly. Yeah, they'll put anything in them. I don't like it. Obviously, you got to keep it in house. Says the guy with a Saxo engine and a helmet. But there's other options, and the BX engine, the MI16, as everyone calls it, it's not really. They want to get big power figures, and you can't get massive power figures out of those without spending like touring car budget tuning on them, because they're quite good out of the box. You know, they were quite stretched out early on. So I think they prefer other stuff. One guy's put a V6. Well, there's a few guys put a V6 in them.
Well, wasn't that 1.9 litre engine sort of like, was it power per litre when it was launched, was one of the most powerful normally aspirated engines per litre, I think, for its time?
Yes, it was, David. I think you've watched my video where I said that. With the tomato. Yeah, it was. It was 84 something, 84 point something per litre.
Yeah.
So it's just the amount of power it makes divided by how many litres it is, basically. And that sort of tells you how efficient the engine is, not necessarily how powerful it is outright. But I mean, obviously the Hondas came along and beat that because they were 1.6 with that kind of power. I think they were up in the 90s. And then forced induction engines are quite often over 100. Some of them are 100, but 110, 120. But for a naturally aspirated engine that had no trickery, that was pretty good. So I still haven't got Tomato running yet, though. So it's no different to what it was this morning. That video that went out this morning. So so this is like an experiment. I've got to move over to someone else in a minute.
That's right. It takes the pressure off me now. Like I say, of course, I would be the IT guy that's got all the technical issues at the beginning, so that's great.
One of the things I'm trying to figure out at the moment is what's happening with the chat, because the chat kind of it pops up and then it just disappears.
It's flashing and coming and going for me as well.
So people write stuff and you can't even see what it was. And because it's on portrait, you can't get it to stay on continually because it just completely blocks the screen. So what I'm hoping to do on the night is have the laptop running alongside it with a load of other stuff going. But right, so this is what I'm going to try and do. So I'm going to try and go directly from you to the next people.
Okay.
And then after that, I'll probably stop it and start it again because I've got to practice going seamlessly from one to another, and then also practice them stopping and starting again, because I'm not going to do it in one lump because YouTube basically won't. Well, it would let you, but it makes it difficult. So I'll explain more of that later on. So yeah, right. Well, thank you for your time.
No worries.
Everyone, check his channel out. It's called he's called Very Decisive Autos. He's not indecisive at all. Right. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to remove you, and I'm going to invite someone else onto this same thing and see if it works. All right.
Okie dokie.
All right. Thanks, David.
Right. Catch you soon.
Cheers.
Cheerio.
Right. So David should be kicked, but everyone should still be there if this has worked. And then. Right. How are we doing? So I've sent the link to Whiteland Motors. And I can't see if it's worked or not because all the chat is on top of the. There we go. Right. I can't say hello to everyone individually because right. I can't say hello to everyone individually, so I'm just like hello everybody, etc.
There we go. Is that us?
Hey, you're sideways.
We're sideways.
Yeah. Well, unless Wales, the gravity's different there.
Okay.
Ah, there we go.
Interesting. I'll have to leave the phone like that.
You look much younger in the flesh, Lewis.
Thanks.
You look so small as well.
Oh dear. Right, I'm coming in shop.
Yeah, I would cry as well.
Yeah, but if I have to disappear because this one's TV, that's where I've got.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. It's
I like the Volvo in the background. Is that a picture? Oh, that's a telly.
That's the telly.
That's our Volvo.
Have you put it up there to annoy people who don't like LED headlights?
Yes, very much so.
Although Ian did see somebody else with the same headlights in the NEC today. Yeah.
What, inside the NEC?
Inside the NEC on a car.
Gosh.
Oh, they're obviously letting the standards drop, aren't they?
Oh, there are a lot of opinions over those headlights.
There are a lot of opinions, yeah.
Because I've seen pictures of them with their red.
Hold on, let's set up here.
Yeah, sorry, it's quiet. I'll turn the volume up on my phone, I think.
All right.
We don't want to delayed on the laptop.
Are you just on a mobile?
Yes.
Right, and it worked first time?
Yes.
Amazingly, first time.
Okay. So all these people I've said it doesn't matter what you're on, I need to go around and tell them that it does.
Does it?
I don't know. We could have tried it on the laptop, but the webcam's no good on the laptop. And then I was trying to set up the external webcam, and it was just a mod, so we just used the phone. Yeah. It's all right.
Well, do you know the stupid thing is that to do this, because you can have the go live thing, which you guys use, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then you can have the new one is go live together, which not every account has apparently.
We don't have that. I know I checked because we got nothing go live together.
Well, you know the stupid thing is you only have it on the phone. It doesn't. They haven't done it on the desktop version. So on a laptop you can't do it, which is stupid because the laptop is what you would use, isn't it? I mean,
it is what you'd use. We obviously there's been Android updates for Studio this week, and there's still no go live together option for us.
No.
No.
So, it might be because of the amount, maybe like accounts that have streamed a certain amount over the last year or something. Because mine tend to drag on a little bit. So maybe my hours are quite high.
It's split differently on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying. Well, as long as it worked this way, then that's good. That works. So, been up to.
I'm not sure if we'd use a mobile phone when we were in the workshop on the live bit. I think we'll hook up something a bit better. It's a bit weird.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, for us it's weird.
We can't see anything, you see.
No.
You can't see anything.
Well, the way we've got our tripod, if we turn it around the other way, it touches the screen and it makes all the chat go all weird and everything. So we have to turn it around the other way.
Hold on,
You're
hold
using
on.
the back camera.
We're using the main camera, yeah.
How about that?
Hold on.
Does that work?
I'll take my
Yeah,
phone.
that works. Yeah.
That works. That's much better. If I can get you to stand there.
So you were talking to the back of your phone.
I was talking to the back of my phone. That's really weird, isn't it? This is much better. I can see you. So much easier to interact.
Well, the quality of the camera has gone down slightly, but then that's because selfie cams are not quite as sharp as rear ones. Right, okay. So what mobile's working all right? That's good.
It's working pretty damn good, actually. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. As things stand at the moment, I'm going to have to try and do it on just on a mobile or possibly a tablet. But my tablet is hasn't got the update on it for Go Live Together. It's the old YouTube. So old, the tablet, you can't even update it. So
like an iPad 1.
yeah, it's well. To be honest with you, one day I'm going to smash it up and I'm going to film it, and I'm going to smile when I do it because the tablet's been nothing but grief from day one.
There's always good YouTube views, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good content. Yeah. I'll drive over it in a car of some sort. How was work anyway? What are you working on the Volvo today?
Working on the Volvo today. It was one of those kind of days where everything was just a bit, get one of those fighty kind of days. So I had a brake nipple snap off, bleed nipple snap off, and then the tool to extract it snapped off inside the hole. So that was brilliant. And then was cleaning up the front strut legs ready for paint, and the cups have been replaced. And some of the worst welding you've ever seen, holding the new cups on. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to put my family in this car. No.
Fair, they had skimmed over it with silicone.
Oh yes, the silicone was definitely holding as much as the weld.
It was structural silicone.
Structural silicone, yeah.
Well, I've not had a terribly successful. I spent most of my day moving the workshop around because it was all bundled up. You know how it gets; everything just gets packed. And you think I need to move it about and make room between things again because it's you can't walk between stuff. But I've got to send a chassis away for shot blasting, and it's just covered in oil and grease and gunk and everything like that. And of course, the shot blasters don't like that.
No, they don't.
I spent an hour and a half with a jet wash this morning trying to clean this thing off.
I figured out a nice way to clean that stuff off today. I was cleaning the axle for the 240 and scraped off most of the shorts. And then I was like, thinners was too slow. Petrol, that's too bloody slow. And I thought, you know what? Paint stripper, I bet that's pretty good at removing tire. Man, that's brilliant. You just paint it on and then leave it for most of the day and then drag it outside, pressure wash, and it all just comes off. Oh, it was beautiful. It was so
like Nitromors or something like that?
Nitromors or Starchem we use.
Okay.
Same sort of stuff. Paint stripper.
Does the work while you're doing something else?
Yeah, it does the work. You can crack on with someone else. And it's
doing that. This one's got like CV grease, wax oil. I mean, it's had a Ford clone engine in it, so it's just oil everywhere.
It's self-lubricating.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the chassis is not that bad, and that would be why, because it's like rust treatment. But so I started doing that, and it's just been one of those days, really. But I'm planning how I was going to do this and everything, so it seems to be working okay.
Yeah, it's working very smoothly.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised at how well it's working.
We've got a few things to try and work out our end, depending on what the weather's doing. Depends on how well you're going to hear us with our workshop roof.
Why would the weather be bad? It's not like you're in Wales.
If it rains heavy, you can't hear nothing from our workshop.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad here, to be fair.
So we're hoping we'd like to do kind of a workshop walk around tour whilst we're having a chat with you.
Yeah.
Thought that'd be a pretty cool thing to do.
Yeah, your workshop looks a bit prettier than mine. You've got all like nice signs up and things.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
You are
My
lucky.
dad did us proud, hooking us up with a massive cow shed and turning it into a workshop.
Ah.
You only
Ah,
see
yeah.
you only see half of the workshop on YouTube.
It looks pretty big.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
pretty
huge.
big,
It's
and the rest
deceptive.
of it is car storage. And we've got lots of really cool cars in storage. As soon as maybe if one day YouTube pay us to do our own cars, like the ad revenue, the cool projects will come out. We've got
All sorts stashed. haven't
the
we?
stuff my dad stashed. Is pretty
All
cool.
stuff that you can work on yourself for
Yeah.
yourself, but make a series out of it, sort of thing.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
we've got an unlimited number of projects just sitting there waiting to go, you know. And if we could do that full time, oh, that'd be absolutely ideal. That's the dream. isn't
Most
it?
of which are Lotuses
Yeah.
and some VX 220s.
You've got a really cool Humber Scepter
I've
hot
got
rod on the go.
A Humber Scepter hot rods, which is
Oh, right, yeah.
converted it to a 2-door. I didn't just weld up the rear doors; I extended the front doors by 5 inches.
Okay.
And then slammed it. Put MX5 subframes under it, which means you've got to chop most of that to make the subframes narrower because the Humber's so much narrower. And I
Right.
put a BMW 4.4 litre V8 in the front.
Okay.
Feelings put in the 240.
Yeah, which is going to come out and go to 240. Now, when I get back to the Humber one day, I might actually convert it to electric.
I was looking at those BMW V8s ages ago to put in a TVR. Just to wind TVR people up, really. It'd be like, we had one guy come in once. I was talking about doing that, and he said, "Why would you put a BMW engine in?" And I said, "Well, there's a place up in Sheffield who put a BMW M3 straight 6, the S50, into a Cerbera." So this as a fly. So it was I'm going to punch the phone in a minute. Yeah, so there was it was a Cerbera. Imagine it was a Speed 6 originally, and the engine grenaded itself, as they sometimes do.
Yeah.
And they put this BMW engine in, and he drove in, and he had a TVRS, which has got a Ford Cologne in it. And he went, "Oh, you can't put a German engine in a TVR. That's sacrilege." I just stood there looking at his car. Like, where do you think Cologne is? No, not near Huddersfield, is it?
No.
Oh, bloody hell. No. You got to love winding people up, don't you?
Do you get it bad with the Volvo?
The rivet counters, they're the ones you got to watch out for. But sadly enough, they're the ones I tend to do most of my work for.
Yeah.
Well, it's all right. I mean, I get enjoyment out of making sure everything's, pedantic and whatnot, and knowing that there's other things where you've got creative freedom and you can just do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do, like the concourse stuff with the customers and
Yeah.
go, do a bit of our own stuff on our own projects, don't we?
I think Laura's Morris Traveller, though, is going to have to be concourse.
Yeah, it's a bit of it.
When we eventually get round to it.
Apparently it's a bit of a special one in between years, quite rare. And
Is that the one that Ian was documenting?
No, this is
That different one.
in far worse condition.
yeah,
Oh,
there's a couple of videos where you see us dragging it out of a cow barn.
The poor thing had its nose sticking out of the shed for the past 30 years.
Ah,
It's a full. It needs new chassis and new bodywork and new glass and new steering wheel and new interior.
Yeah,
It needs new words.
but the Speedo is beautiful.
excellent. Yeah, the windscreen's great, is it?
Yeah.
It's great.
No, but it's nice though because that car, it turns out, was Lewis's dad's
My
old
dad's
teacher's car.
maths teacher from school, from primary school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
so
pretty
it's
cool.
connected to the family somehow, isn't it? So,
In a roundabout way.
yeah.
But that's going OE. That's going completely OE, is it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
He says that it'll end up with a K series turbo in it, won't it? And back axle and gold wing doors.
Did say we might do MX5 running gear and brakes and stuff, but no, I think concourse on that one.
Concourse on that one because it's going to be a pretty special car for Laura, so I think it would be a bit of a trailer queen, probably.
Yeah, but she would love it too much to.
Yeah.
Oh, she's terrible. She loves things stock. She loves things standard. Don't change it.
Yeah, see, I go through phases because I've got like I've got a BX, which not the one that's been on the videos, the another one. And I went through a phase when I got it, I'd modifying it, and it had like fake split rims on it and loud exhaust and all this kind of thing. I'm chopping things, changing things, and like moving that pipe there, and just all these little things. I think I'm making it better, and then a couple of years later, I think, no, that's horrible. I should do all that back to the way it was, and like have the original wheels, original spec tires. I even bought Michelin's for it, have original spec tires, and you go to town, and then you get back the other end of it again. You think, oh no, actually, it would be better to put something more modern, like in this, or something like that, and you take it all back out again, and yeah, it just can't be happy.
You go round in circles.
Round in circles.
Yeah.
Oh, Hubner, gate crashing. You can't do anything without him, like rocking up, can you?
Who's that? Yeah.
Ian's just rocked into the chat.
Oh, here he is, still the limelight.
The window wiper king himself.
Oh.
Is
the
the
wipers on Bob yet? Actually.
What extra wipers? that's one modification Ian would be down for, adding more window wipers.
what on the side?
On anything.
He's not. He wasn't impressed that we deleted them off the 240.
What the front ones as well?
Yes.
You're driving down the road like that. There's a lot of Rain-X on the window to get that to clear, isn't it? Right. Okay. Well, so that's work. So what I need to do now, I don't know whether to go straight from you to another one, or to stop it and start again. Because
how many times can you do it? How many times can you kick someone out and add someone in?
I don't know. I imagine unlimited, but on the night I've got the problem I've got is that obviously some people are coming here, but most people are going to be online. For the ones that are coming here, you wouldn't use go live together because it splits it in the middle, and you just end up with half a black screen all the time. You'd have to use go live, or I could then use the laptop. I could put the webcam on the laptop and use that, which would work better, and it'd give the phone a break. But it means stopping and starting the stream, so it'll kick everyone out, and then you'll have to wait to get everyone back in again.
Yeah,
you'd be losing your views and stuff as well.
Losing your rhythm.
You do. But then the other thing I did think is that if you do it as one continuous string, because what I'm hoping to do is monetize it as well, and then anything you can see what revenue it's gained, and I can take that out and put that in the fundraising pot as well. But if I do it, or one of the guests do it, or something like that, say a few Fs and Jeffs and get the thing blacklisted, you've lost the whole lot. Whereas if you break it into chunks, you might not. You might just lose one chunk, but the others are okay. And it would make it easier for sort of editing it into a kind of summary thing later on. But I think I'll go straight from you guys to Matt, I think it is. I'm just looking at my...
Give it a go.
Give it a go. Right, so I'm going to... do I have to kick you first? Right, I have to kick you first. So thank you very much, Whiteland Restorations.
Anytime.
And yeah, this is good. We should do it again sometime, maybe next Saturday.
Yeah. We'll check the calendar. Yeah.
Make sure you haven't agreed to do anything else,
Yeah. High demand, high demand.
Okay, right, brilliant. Thanks for that. I'm going to go to the next guy.
All right.
Thank
you. Bye.
Bye.
You just got to sit here.
Right. That should be another invite sent. So we should get the last person. So what I'm going to do we've got Miss Hubnut last. She's loitering in the comments. So when we go to her, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to end this stream and then start another one. I know that sounds daft, but that's basically to see how it works, like what the glitches are, because then later on I can go back into the whatever they call it, analytics or whatever, and figure out what went well with that and what went wrong. So that's why I'll be doing that. Why aren't I joining 24-hour races like other same? I'd love to do racing. I would. It's be my dream come true. But yeah, money. It's expensive stuff. So the chat's gone. Yes, Burke, whatever. I can't even pronounce your name. Sorry. Burke, Benyar. Yeah, it's a test run. It's do we stay and wait, Harry? So I would think. I don't know because I've never done it before. I don't think you can stay in this chat. I think what it will do is this chat will end. And then when this one stops, I'll go live again, and you should get a notification if you've got the bell on and everything. You should get a notification that I've gone live straight away, and then I can put people. I can put myself and whoever the guest is in like a holding room, and that's what I'm going to try and do with Carly. I'm going to try and get it so. Oh, there we go. I think Matt's in. With Carly, I'm going to try and do it so that you can basically have two people that are in it but not have gone live, and then you wait and you can see that people have seen the stream and they've joined it again. So oh wow, there he is. Are you on the moon?
Feels like it. No, not quite. I'm in the outside broadcast unit.
The outside broadcast unit.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm gonna put my AirPods in because that might be better sound for you guys. Let's see what that's like. Is that any better for you?
It sounds exactly the same for me as it did to start with.
Oh, it sounds better for me.
Ah, there you go. So are you on a mobile?
Yes, I'm on a mobile on normal network rather than Wi-Fi.
Right. Okay. So did you? Is that the first thing you tried?
It's the only thing I've got.
I suppose you don't carry a PC around in the car, do you?
Not in this one, no.
No, you got it on the. Well, you got a desktop on the other one, have you? Up in the Astro or whatever.
Yeah, it's all there. Yeah.
An IBM CRT monitor.
I'm sorry, it's a bit dark. I'll see. Hang on, I've got an idea. Hang on.
You in a car park? Try flashing other people to see if they flash you.
I'm not doing that, Rich. I've heard about your antics. I've heard about your antics. I'm not doing it.
That's just normal around here.
BMW torch out the glove box. Will that give me some more light, do you think? Not really.
You have to get the hamster to run a bit faster, generate a bit more electricity.
It's Halloween spec. Anyway, how are you doing?
Tired.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Can't imagine trying to do this for 24 hours. It's going to be, yeah.
Well,
who would do that?
Only a madman.
Yeah. Right.
Fair play to you. Fair play to you.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll be okay. At the end of the day, I've been working all day, so I'm knackered now because I've just had to push a load of cars back in the workshop, and I've been sweeping up and had to carry a chassis from one end of the workshop to the other on my own. So I'm pretty knackered. Whereas on next Friday, I'll pretty much sleep, I expect, leading up to it.
Yeah, do what you can.
Or just put my feet up for a bit and then just go at it and finish off. I won't be finishing at 5 on Saturday because I want to do 24 hours. And if there's going to be breaks in between, which I think there's going to be, then I've actually got another clock coming. So you can check this out. Like this. We might not like it, might think it's terrible, but so I'm going to build a little wall in the back of whatever car I'm in or where I am. And look at this. Oh, you can't.
Oh,
that's right.
That's better. Yeah,
it's all lit up.
Hold it over your chest where your t-shirt is.
It's all like, oh, there you go. Yeah. No,
that's pretty cool. Are you going to have that as a countdown, or are you having that as live time?
It doesn't do countdowns. Annoyingly, that'll go in. That'll go in the background, and then I'm going to have a little stopwatch underneath it, a timer, and then each time I stop to change the stream, I will start that, and then when I come back, I'll stop it, and at the end, the amount of time that's added on that's stoppage time.
Yeah.
And that gets added on the end. So,
Fergie time.
So the longer people take to get their act together, the longer my stream's going to be.
Yeah, true enough.
So, and the more it balls it up, the longer it's going to be. So yeah,
So-
that's pretty much how it's going.
So it could be a 27-hour stream for you.
No, I'll probably pass out before that. I'm debating how I can get Domino's to deliver me a pizza without leaving too much. Like I can get out because I'm going to do it. I don't know what car to start it in. I'm probably going to move from car to car. But one of the reasons for that is that it's going to get quite cold overnight.
Yeah.
And obviously the cost of electricity and energy at the moment is not cheap.
True.
If I put the heater on in here, even in the office, you notice it on the bill because there's no insulation in it at all. It's not designed for it.
Yeah, true.
So what I'm thinking of doing is going into cars and putting the heater in there because, of course, it won't take very much to heat a car up, and then it should you can just turn it off and sit on the seat and keep comfy and that. But I don't know whether I'll have to keep busy, have to keep get out and do something to keep active, and it's not going to be an easy thing to film doing any work or anything like that. I don't think it's good having a system where you can do all the streaming and everything and then move around car to car or doing different jobs is going to be pretty impractical.
Just once an hour, get out and drag a TVR chassis around, and that'll warm you up.
Just for fun.
Yeah. No,
I could weld bits onto it, and then the next hour I could just cut them off again, just for laughs.
Do the rivets again.
Someone on Twitter, I forget who it was, I think it was a guy called Tom. He said, "Does it sound like a Maraca now, that chassis?" And that's the one I had to carry now, and yeah, it does. It sounds like a giant Maraca. What can you do? You can't get them out.
No.
But yeah, so that's there. So you're in the BMW at the moment.
I am. I've stopped midway on my journey home from work. I've done a 12-hour shift again today. If we did this a couple of weeks ago, you'd be able to see behind me somewhere is the Angel of the North, massive big statue monument thing. It's 100 and something feet tall, made out of steel, massive wings, stands overlooking the A1.
That's up near Newcastle.
Yeah.
That's miles away.
Yeah, well, I live miles away from you, don't I?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So, I kind of passed this on my way to and from work. So I thought, right, I can pull in here to car park. There won't be anyone around because it's dark, it's blowing a gale, and there is nobody around apart from two hooded youths behind me in an F-Reg Escort Mark IV on WRC rims, randomly.
An F-Reg Escort?
Yeah, Mark IV, yeah. And it's got OZ WRC flat face rims on it. I don't know what they're doing, but... So, yeah. So there are only two cars in this car park are quite retro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said, Mr. Manbuzz there says, in hindsight, getting a white one wasn't the best idea. Are you talking about my clock? Because that's the only colour they did. But I agree.
It'll work fine in cars, won't it?
I think so. Hang on. Right. Let's try it.
Cars in the workshop will be dark, won't they? Or certainly darker. There you go. Yeah.
Still not quite. Yeah, it would have been better black, wouldn't it?
I think it'll be fine. You've got time to paint it. Get a Sharpie on it.
Yeah, I could do. Well, okay, right. Well, I'm just going to leave that there. Right, so I need to. How am I going to do this? So I need to hand over. I need to go out of this stream. Start a new one because I could go straight from here to Miss Hubnut, but if I do that, I'm not going to learn anything about stopping a stream and then starting another one.
Yeah, true enough.
Just for the not just for you, but for the record for everyone else. When you stream on YouTube and then you stop, YouTube saves it,
right?
And it kind of goes through it and it does all its checks and all that malarkey. and then eventually it will just put it back up online as a video that can be watched. But the limit on how long those are, I think, is 8 hours. So if you did 24 hours continuously, you'd just lose most of it. So that's another reason for doing it in chunks. But yeah, the only ball ache for people is going to be the stream ending and then having to find a new one, or having to wait and join the new one. So that's what we'll try out now anyway. But I appreciate your time.
That's all right. When you sent me the link,
Yeah,
I had to press it a few times in order to do anything. It didn't do anything at first, and then it did take me to YouTube, thankfully. So just if Miss Hubnut struggles with it, if you send her the link, if she's on a phone, I don't know how you're going to do it, but
yeah. Well, I mean, as it turns out, when I send the link, obviously we've done it on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
But I could actually, once I went into the box and started looking at the options, I can direct message it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So it might possibly be that. So you've clicked it off WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Whiteland must have clicked it off WhatsApp. So.
So it works.
Dave tried it on the laptop and it didn't work.
Oh, right.
At all. Just kept taking him to a help page, and then when he picked the mobile up and tried that, he got it to work on his mobile, no problem. So
yeah, I got the help page the first 2 times I did it.
Right.
And
okay.
then went back into WhatsApp, tried it again, and it brought me to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. Thanks for your time. I will. Right. Yeah. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to end this stream. This stream will end. So on a night, that's not going to happen every time. And sometimes I'll just go from one guest to another. It might pause. I don't actually. Let me just see if I can do that here. No, I can only mute the microphone. Yeah, JCO176 says 90% chance the go live together feature is only for mobiles. It is only for mobiles to open it, but it said when you do it, it just sends you a link. So I thought, well, anyone with a link, if you've got a streaming device of any kind, if you can click that link, you're in. But it looks like it's only mobiles. But Carly's using a Chromebook, so that's like a tablet, isn't it? Is that like a tablet? I
think so.
Well, that'd be good. That'd be good to know if that works. I'm trying to see if I can take this offline but keep the stream going at the moment, and I can't. I'm trying to see what I can do to. Oh, that's my camera. Right, I've found out. You see the Volvo there?
I did. I saw some ketchup as well.
That's what I'm watching at the moment. That's not ketchup. That's barbecue sauce.
That was close.
Right, so I can't take this offline. So it looks like when I start a go live, it's just you can either end it. I can either remove you. Well, I'll do that first. So I'll remove you first. But I can either end it. Hang on, I'm thinking. Can you see the cogs going?
Can see the steam.
No, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to remove you because I did that on the last 2. I'm going to try clicking the X in the corner. That will either end it completely and kick us both out, or it will take us back out to the holding room.
Okay.
I don't know, but if it doesn't take us to the holding room, thanks for your time.
No problem, Rich.
Much appreciated. And everyone who's in the chats and things, look out for the next one. It will come on within a minute or 2. All right. All right. Cheers, mate. Thanks for that.
Cheers, Rich.
See everyone in a minute.